Hello, Jane.
Okay. Hi. I'm Jane Groom. I'm Deputy Manager here at SWIIS Foster Care. We are an independent fostering agency, and that means that we work outside of statutory services, and we work alongside, in our case, 12 local authorities in the region, in the northeast of England, and we support the local authorities by offering placements for children and young people, and we are responsible for the foster carers who are signed up with our agency, and we are responsible for ensuring that those foster carers meet the fostering standards, that they meet the fostering regulations, and that everything runs as it should do for that young person in placement. I do think that when students on the final placement get an opportunity to work within a fostering service, it is very unique, and it's not something that everybody has the opportunity to do. So it does equip them with that pre-existing experience should they wish to continue on in the world of fostering. They can, and that's exactly what I did years and years ago. I did a final placement just like this and went straight into it wasn't the same IFA, but it was another IFA. So I think that there's a lot of value in having this very unique placement opportunity.
Thinking about the placements that the students went on, the 100-day placements, what opportunities did they have to get involved in Section 17 and Section 47 work?
Andy?
Yes, so I think absolutely daily. I mean, it's our role to safeguard children, young people in a fostering service. Although we're an independent fostering agency, we also are a statutory service. So the kind of work that the students got involved in is the supervision of foster carers to ensure that foster carers were meeting the needs of the child. So you look at the developmental triangle and how child's needs, what the child's needs are and how these are met. The students got directly involved in that. They had their own caseload. They went and, firstly under supervision, but once they got up to speed, they went and did their own supervisions with foster carers and kind of got involved with LAC reviews and care team meetings. They knew what the child's plan was, and then supervised the social work, the foster carers, and then, ensured that that child's needs were being met.
Mm-hmm. So you're right. They had a lot of insight into processes and how that links up with legislation, such as working together. They understood and they learned about the role of the local authority designated officer, the whole allegation management process, and also about responsibilities of our fostering service to notify Ofsted should there be a concern that there was a Section 47 threshold met. So they were very much learning about thresholds and how that bit works. But also the other bit of learning for both students was looking at the referrals that were coming our way, how children and young people became care experienced, and the journey from that initial referral into the front door, right up to PLO, to care proceedings, and how they became in situ with ourselves. And I think that was a huge bit of learning for both students, to sort of acknowledge and recognise that journey of the child and the family.
I'm just thinking there, because that's a really interesting point as well, Jane. I'm just thinking about maybe is there any potential for students to get involved with like permanency planning? Is that part of what you were talking about there, maybe?
It dependent on what's happening. Certainly, they will have involvement in long-term matching processes. And they will also have involvement with children and young people whereby proceedings are ongoing, and there may be, for example, twin track planning. So it may be a plan of adoption versus long-term fostering. That is all permanence, of course, and that's something that they will have, the opportunity to to be involved with.
Thank you. Another part of the criteria is high risk decision making and dealing with complexity issues. And I think you've probably covered that, but something that I just wondered about was the skills and knowledge side of working actually in your agency. And I'm thinking about maybe like students don't have to do a whole task. It's just like involvement. So it might just be part or to contribute to a task. I'm thinking about the possibility of like assessment work, different forms of assessment. I don't know who wants to talk me through that.
Well, certainly with assessment work, sorry, Jane, I've just jumped
No,
in
no,
there.
go for it.
But certainly with assessment work, we do monthly or quarterly now outcome trackers, which is kind
Right.
of which is the tool that we send off to the local authority, which is like the quarterly report, which follows the journey of the child in that quarter. So that's our assessment of that child, and students were very much involved in that, very much involved with that. With regards to the standards of care, the student did contribute to that, but that was certainly written by myself. I did that, but she did contribute to that assessment as well. Students got very much heavily involved in completing risk assessments and safer caring assessments.
Yeah. The other thing, the other task that certainly my student, I think yours as well, Andy, undertook was contributing to the foster carers' annual foster carer review.
Yeah.
So of course that was an assessment of that period of review, and that really supported their understanding of writing. So, you know, that difference between descriptive writing and analytical writing, you know, that was something that supported their skills in assessment. And, you know, that evaluation really of looking at a period of time and what, you know, how the year's gone for that foster carer. They didn't become involved in any Form F assessments because we have independent social workers who do that bit. However, they were encouraged as part of their work, once they started getting their caseload and understanding who they were working with, looking at that Form F assessment and trying to, you know, link that with the people in front of them, and, you know, throughout the work, just thinking back to what those carers' earlier experiences were and how that assessment informed their ability to become foster carers and how that was then playing out once they'd been approved.